What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith, and welcome to The Nerdy Narrative. On this channel, I like to talk about all sorts of bookish related things in many different genres. You name it, I'll read it. Science fiction, fantasy, horror, manga, comics, literary fiction, classics, poetry, short stories. It's really become more about the book and the story it has to tell more than the genre. So, today's episode of fun is a first quarter series check-in for me. Back in late December or maybe early January, I put out a series that I want to finish in 2021 and series that I want to start in 2021. So today's video is an accounting of my progress in those two ventures. So you guys are going to be my accountability partners for the rest of the year to help me stay on track and get these series completed. So my focus is to finish up, clean up some of these series that I've started before starting any new series, because I just have so many going. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this for you a little bit. I haven't done much in continuing or finishing series, but I've started new series, even more new series than I had planned, and that's just not gonna do. Alright, so here we go. The first series that I wanted to complete and finish for 2021 is the Story of Evil trilogy by Tony Johnson. I read the first one last year. My goal was to read the second one before his third one comes out. I need to check in with him and see how that third one is coming. But alas, I have not yet read this one. So those keeping score, so far I'm batting a big fat goose egg. So the next series I mentioned that I wanted to work on for 2021 is the Expanse series. And I haven't done that either. I got derailed by the Red Rising series, and I just didn't really want to read two science fiction series at the same time. So I put this one on hold until I finished Red Rising. So still a big fat 0 as far as progress. The next one, I literally have this tiny little book that will finish the Wayward Pines trilogy, and I still haven't done it yet, much to Michael Knipp's chagrin. I am going to read this book this year. I promise I'm going to read this book this year. It's little. There's no excuse. Why don't I pick you up? What is the problem? Is it me? Is it you? It's definitely me. Success. The Nightmareland Chronicles by Daniel Barnett. There are 4 books currently published by him. I have read all 4. I do have the ARC for the 5th one, and that I will be reading in the next few days. So finally, I do have some success as far as continuing a series this year that I meant to. Let's keep that going. I wanted to finish the Patience of a Dead Man trilogy by reading Anger is an Acid, and I knocked that one out in January. So I have one series that was on the list to complete that I have completed. And we're back to sadness. I wanted to catch up in the Caledon Saga. There are now 4 books out. I still haven't done that. I am going to get on it. I do have a couple other shorter series that I'm going to clean up and finish, and then I'm going to hit this one hard and get the Caledon Saga by J.P. Harker read and up to date with what is out. So I guess these 2 trilogies can be considered in the same series because they're both in the realm of the Elderlings. I do want to finish and complete the Farseer trilogy and the Live Ship Trader series. I do have these planned, so they will happen, and they will happen this year. They just haven't yet. Another trilogy that I've got to get cleaned up and caught up on is the Powder Mage trilogy, especially now that they're going to make a show for this one. I wanted to get this one finished by now, but I put it off to the side for favor of other series that I started that I shouldn't have, but here we are. So no progress made on this one so far. And then the final series that I wanted to catch up to date on is the Locked Tomb trilogy. And I've already read the first one. I read the first one twice, but I still haven't read its sequel, Harrow the Ninth. The 3rd book comes out next year, so I'll probably wait till closer to the end of this year to read this one. And I know I'm probably going to reread Gideon the Ninth again before I read this one because I loved Gideon the Ninth so much. So we had 2 successes out of all of those. This is not going well. So in the first quarter of 2021, I've done a terrible job at working on the series I started in 2020. A terrible job. To make matters worse, I started a few new series that I didn't even have on my list of series I wanted to start. And the first one of those series is the Divine Cities series. Luckily, it is a trilogy, and they're relatively short. But this was a very great book. I enjoyed it very much. It was my first experience with Robert Jackson Bennett. I have the next two here ready to go. I am going to finish those two books this year. I have them on my list to get to very soon. But this was not one I planned. It was a shelf space book club pick one month, and I loved it, and I just have to finish it. I did leave off the next two from that video, but really I did mean to mention them. The first series is the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. I have read the first two books in this series, and I plan to read a book each month until I complete it. So this series I'm definitely on track with to finish this year. The next one is the Red Rising series. This is a Discord-wide buddy read with the Library of Alexandria's channel, and this one I've read the first two books in this series. Again, we're on track to read one per month until we complete it, so this one will be done in the next few months as well. The next series I wanted to start is The Ruin of Kings by Jenn Lyons. I believe this is the only book out in that series so far. I think another one is supposed to come out later this year, so I'm going to look up and see when that second book is going to be released, and I'll make sure to read this one the month before. But this series should be very easy to read and catch up on really quick this year and meet that goal. The next series I wanted to get started, but I still haven't yet, is The Grey Bastards by Jonathan French. I actually have put this one off from starting it until closer to release of the third book. The third book comes out in September, so I'm plotting on starting this one in July so I can read its follow-up in August and be fresh and ready to roll when the third book comes out in September. And another trilogy that I wanted to start and finish this year, and I still haven't yet, is the original Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn. I typically just want to read one science fiction series at a time. Right now I'm working through Red Rising, so once I finish that, I plan to either hit this one next or the Expanse series. One series that I wanted to start this year, I did not intend to finish it this year because they're very complex reads, and that is the Malazan series by Steven Erikson. I have read Gardens of the Moon, but I haven't gotten into Dead House Gates yet. I am fully expecting to have that one on May's TBR and continue that series, but it's very complex. They take a while to read. I have no intention to finish it in 2021. It'll definitely be one that carries over into 2022. So I would say I'm on track for this one. So another trilogy I wanted to start and finish this year that I'm doing really well on is the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I absolutely love this little series. I have read 2 of the 3 so far. I expect to read the third one next month. So that'll knock this little trilogy out for me and reach that goal. But what this did, it also added to my load for series that I want to read this year that I wasn't intending on, which is the Six of Crows duology and then King of Scars. I already got Ruin of Wolves as well. I'm going to tell you guys up front, of any of these, if they're gonna get completed in this year in 2021, it's gonna be all of these Grishaverse books. I am just smitten with this series. They will most assuredly get read this year. I still have not started the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee, but that is by design. I know that the third book was supposed to come out in September. I think I saw that it's gotten pushed back to December. At any rate, I'm going to wait and read these 2 in the 2 months before the third one comes out. So whether it comes out in September or whether it comes out in December, I'm going to wait and read Jade City and Jade War right before that release. Another trilogy that I've been excited to get to, but I haven't yet, is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, or the Devabah trilogy. I am going to get to these books, if nothing else, but because they're so beautiful. I can't wait to just hold them and look at them for all the days that it takes me to read through them. So I haven't started yet, but I'm going to. Another trilogy that I haven't started yet, but I'm going to. The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. You would think with all of these trilogies, I wouldn't be having such a difficult time knocking them out, but I keep picking up other books and other series. I have seen so many people starting the Tower of Babel series. I'm going to get to it. I said I was, and I'm going to. I'm just going to wait a few more months because the 4th book is coming out, I believe, in August. So I'm going to wait and line these up so that I read the first 3 in the 3 months before that 4th book comes out. I have no excuses when it comes to starting the Greycoats. I believe there's just 4 books in this series, and I think that's all there's going to be. But I haven't started it yet. But since it is complete, at least I think it is, I'm going to wait and start it after I clean up some of these other trilogies. So it'll probably be closer to the end of the year. Sorry, Alan. And then the rest of these series I had on my list, but I'm putting them on hold indefinitely until I clean up some of these others higher priorities with me. And that's the Rift War Saga by Raymond Feist, the Alex Versus series by Benedict Jacka, the Iron Druid Chronicles by Kevin Hearn, the reread of the Hood series by Stephen Lawhead, the Gentleman Bastards. I'm going to try Lies of Locke Lamora again, but I'm going to wait and do it towards the end of the year so that I can carry over into 2022 completing the series, or it might just wait and get started in 2022. We're going to have to wait and see how well I do with cleaning up these other series I have going. And then I still haven't gotten to Mistborn. Elantris really put me off of the Cosmere a little bit, if I'm being honest with you. But my goal is to read the 2 Elantris novellas next month and then move on into Mistborn. So for those of you keeping up with the accounting of my progress with the series I wanted to start and the series I wanted to finish, I am doing very terribly. Very terribly. I need you guys to help me. I need you guys in my comments, get in my Discord, ask me about these series. Keep them in the forefront of my mind. I need your help. I want to clean these up. I have way too many series going. I'm out of control. I'm out of control. But I have a plan. I worked on it some yesterday. I just gotta work on not changing it with future TBRs. Wish me luck. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope you will help keep me accountable. I need you guys to talk up all of these series to me. Keep me hyped to keep going. Help me reach the goal of getting these finished or caught up in 2021. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you soon.